Hi guys, and welcome to this video clip on how to change the bottom bearing on an old Black & Decker router. I use this router as the spindle on my CNC machine, so it's had a lot of work, and unfortunately now the top bearing has failed. The collet now gets very warm when it runs, and it also makes quite a horrible sound. There's also a very small amount of play I can feel on there as well, so the time has come for it to be changed. Right, I've managed to find the replacement bearing, the correct one for the job, and so I've got that. I have also on order the bottom bearing that hasn't arrived yet, but I'm going to change the top one out now anyway. Right, first things first is to remove the collet from the router there. There it is there. Now on this model there is a nut at the bottom and a nut at the top. The nut at the bottom actually is only a dummy nut. What we'll do is we'll just undo these two. There we go. And you'll see in a minute by what I mean. Yep. This nut here just pulls straight up. It actually has no threads on it at all. It does have a keyway in it here though. So I'll put that aside, and there's actually a little keyway here that needs to come out. Just use some pliers and remove it. Right. Actually now allow the cover to slide off. There are four nuts, or four screws I should say here. So we'll just unscrew these here. If you're wondering why this is coming apart so easily, it's actually because I've had it apart before. First time it didn't come out apart quite so nicely. Right, so that's the four. Nope, I missed one altogether. This one here. Right, so your four screws, and now this here just slides straight off. There we go. Right, now we can now have access to this bearing here, which is the aim of the exercise. And there you'll see there are 3 screws, and I've also marked in here, I had the part previously, with a bit of felt pen just to show me which way that plate went back on. So I'll just unscrew those 3 screws, and then we can pop the bearing out. Alright, hopefully that should be it. Always one. There we go. Plates out, 3 screws, and now as you can see there, the bearings there. Now I should just be able to press there it goes. Press the old bearing out. If it won't come out, a piece of dowel, just a light tap. When you remove bearings, they have to come out straight, because there's very little clearance, if indeed any, between the outside shell of the bearing and the hole in the aluminium there. Right, now here's the bearing I had there earlier, and one thing to note about these is these are high-speed bearings. They're not standard bearings. They're built with bigger clearances in them, packed with the correct amount of grease and all the rest. If you overpack them, they'll heat. If they haven't got enough, they'll heat. But there's greater clearances between the inner and outer casings and the bearings, so when they get hot and expand, they don't get too tight and thus get hotter and expand more. a never-ending spiral. Right, so next we need to get the bearing in here. Now it's very important when we push it in that it's pushed in evenly all the way around and goes in. I'm lucky it's gone in nicely here. Don't force it in. If it tries to go on an angle, it will just bind and won't go in at all properly. So you just got to be very careful, you don't want to damage it. Right, so I'll put this plate back in and it screws. Put these screws in loosely to start with. Beauty of a magnetised screwdriver is it allows you to put screws in easily. Disadvantage is of course it picks up every metal filing there is laying about. Alright, so I'll just tighten these here up. Right, I should now just go slide back over. Like so. Again, I put alignment marks on the casing here before I pulled it apart so that I would find that easy to do. Right, now the keyway, it's got to go back into the shaft, and this is probably one of the most difficult bits of the whole assembly job. Right, and now the nut here has to slide over there, which is done. On with the top nut. That's it. Right. Quick nip up, and now we'll tighten it. Tight. Now, put the collet back on. And there it is, done. The bottom bearing is now replaced. With luck later on this week I should receive the top bearing and be able to get that one replaced. Okay, we'll catch you later. Cheers guys.